Thank you, Ceann Corla. Ministers, carers in County Wexford from all over the county have asked me to make their position known. I've had calls from Duncannon to Duncormac, Kilmore to Rosslare, Oilgate to Enniscorthy, New Rosstown and County Wexford all over, but Wexford Town as well. And they've asked me to represent to you today the hurt they feel, the rage they feel, the disbelief and the disappointment they feel at this government choosing not to reorganise and recognise their contribution and abolish the means test for carers allowance. They feel that their worth hasn't been acknowledged, even though you've widened the threshold or increased the threshold. Many of these carers won't ever make the threshold, particularly because of the false sense of expectation you gave them during the referendum on carers. And they have sent me a document and they'd like me to read it to you. They're your words, Minister. I know there's more to do, there really is. And the fact is, if we vote yes on Friday, that strengthens my hand to do more for carers. What we need to do is sit down and fully assess the contribution that carers are making to our society and how we can support them in the work that they do. Because some people cannot work because they're caring full-time for somebody who has a disability or maybe an elderly person, or for whatever reason they need that support. We need to just deal with the issue once and for all, you said. You further said in a press release that was attributed to your department, Fine Gael takes great pride in delivering a more modern, inclusive Ireland, and these referendums are a key part of that. It's so important that our constitution reflects the Ireland of today. An Ireland that recognises that all families are different, an Ireland that places huge value on the role played by our carers. And I think the reality is we've never actually had a discussion on the floor of this House about that referendum that cost us 20 million and was failed, and it failed dismally, Minister. But the carers believe that this government and yourself, and it's their words, are speaking out of both sides of their mouth. They want you to explain to them why you have chosen not to recognise all carers, why you believe it's okay to disregard their worth and leave them solely dependent in many cases and making them vulnerable on others for income, why you reject the research to abolish the means test that was commissioned by family carers who supported you and this government in the referendum, that was carried out by the National University of Maynooth. Family Carers Ireland supported you, Minister. Can you please respond to the carers who feel so let down?
Thank you, Deputy, and thank you for raising this matter. And you know, I can be accused of many things, but I think speaking out of both sides of my mouth is not normally what I do. I have been engaging with carers now since I became Minister for Social Protection in 2020, and I have to say, and I'll say it again, family carers play a hugely important role, and I have been committed to supporting them in that role. I've worked hard over the last number of years in enhancing the supports that we have provided to them, and I'm well aware of the stories that you're referring to, and I meet carers regularly. I meet the carers groups, I meet the carers themselves, and I know that in each and every budget since I became Minister for Social Protections, the proposals that I have delivered have come directly from talking to them and engaging with the carers and the carers groups. And like every deputy in this House meets with carers on a regular basis, and I'm no different, and we all know well the vital work that they carry out. During my time as Minister for Social Protection, I have stood up for our family carers in recognition of the incredible and often unseen work that they do in our society. In this budget, I'm increasing the annual carer support grant to €2,000. That's now at its highest level ever. I'm extending the carers benefit to self-employed workers. That's new. That didn't happen before. So self-employed people who find that they have to give up work and look after somebody, they'll be able to get the carers benefit. I'm making carers allowance a qualifying payment for fuel allowance. That's another request from the groups. I'm increasing the domiciliary care allowance to €360 per month, and most importantly, I'm expanding the carers allowance means test to €625 per week for a single person and £12.50 per week for a couple. And these changes will mean that I have effectively doubled the income limits for carers allowance over the lifetime of this government, enabling thousands of more carers to qualify for a payment. And as I say, I hear our carers, I recognise them, and it is by working with them that I've been able to ensure that our carers have access to a pension for the first time ever, and rightly so. And I'm pleased to tell you today that since I made this change last year, almost 2,200 carers have benefited in terms of the state pension. And that's the result of listening to our carers, and that's the result of working with them. And I do understand the concern around the means test. The carers allowance means test is an issue which carers have raised consistently over the years, and I know it is being raised here again today. I was the first minister in 14 years to make changes to the carers allowance means test in 2022. As I've outlined, I have increased it. Thanks, I'll come back.
It's their words, and I fully understand why they believe you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. It's a means test, the means of someone else's income, not the carer who's actually delivering the care. You're means testing the income of the household. And it maybe means that they don't even share in. We are talking out of both sides of our mouth every day of the week when we talk about vulnerable women. And 95% of our carers and our care is delivered by women. But yet you have them in a position where if their partner or someone else in that household is over the threshold for the means test, they need to beg for the money to go for a cup of coffee should the occasion arise. Do you understand why they feel so vulnerable and disregarded? Family Carers Ireland have told you in a report commissioned by the University in Maynooth, €20 billion per annum is the state's saving from the carers that provide care to our most vulnerable in this country. 20 billion. And you disregard, you continue with the means test that would give them, if they were caring for one child, €248, less than €12,000 a year, to save the state 20 billion. Is it any wonder their mental health is suffering from the kind of disregard this government shows them? And it's no thanks.
Minister.
Thank you, Can Corla. Look, Deputy, I don't know if you read all the papers, but the carers welcomed the changes I made in the budget. And the changes I made in the budget mean more will get it. You know, I meet them, I've talked directly to them, and I fully.
Please let the Minister answer.
You've had your time.
Please let the Minister. Please, Deputy, you're out of order. Will you let the Minister answer?
I see firsthand the challenges that carers face, and I know there's a mother in the gallery there, and I know the challenges she faces because she told me. And it's not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. And we have made changes, and we have made considerable changes, but we're on a journey. We have to do more. I accept that. But we can't do everything on the one day. And we have made substantial changes to the carers, support grant. It has been increased. The carers allowance is now a qualifying payment for the fuel allowance. Domiciliary care allowance has been increased. I've increased it by €50 during my term as Minister. I've provided the pension for carers. I talk to carers all the time. I am their voice in government, and I have made their case known, and I have improved their situation. And please don't come in here, Deputy, and act as if I'm not aware of any of these things. I talk to people too. I talk to people every day. I hear their concerns, and I know the mother that sent me the text after the budget, the mother that carries her child in her arms when she comes into this house. It's not talk.
Please.
No, this is not talk.
Please.
No.
Please.
No. You're wrong.
Please look at all this shouting is bringing the House into disrepute. Please.